there was a real Renoir, there was a real Magritte, and they had like painting minders that were there. And I remember having this very surreal moment. I was lying in bed wearing my costume, sort of in between takes, just lying on my back and looking up and going, oh my God, there's a Renoir above me. What am I doing? What am I doing here? How did I get here again?
You could easily have a fake Magritte in the back, but we're all sitting there and going, wow, I'm pretty sure this is the only director I'll ever work for who will bring in a real Magritte. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Een paar jaar geleden spraken we hier in Cannes met een 7-tal acteurs over de vorm en de stijl in de film Asteroid City van de eigenzinnige Amerikaanse filmmaker Wes Anderson. Wel, Anderson is weer terug in Cannes, nu met het kleurrijke en droogkomische The Phoenician Scheme. Over de schaamteloze zakenman Jean-Jacques Corda, die ontdekt dat familie belangrijker is dan geld. We spraken nu weer met 7 acteurs, onder wie hoofdrolspeler Benicio Del Toro, maar nu over dysfunctionele families, leven op de zet van Wes en over de vraag of een dysfunctionele opvoeding misschien juist wel goed is voor een acteur.
At this moment, rescue workers are laboring to recover and identify the remains of Zsa Corda, international businessman, maverick in the fields of armaments and aviation, among the richest men in Europe. This was Corda's 6th recorded airplane crash. He is survived by 10 children, 9 boys, 1 nun, his daughter Liesel.
Working on set is often compared to becoming a family. How does Wes help create this family?
He creates a sense of community. You do everything together. You really stay together all the time.
He has everyone stay in the same hotel. He drove us to work maybe 90% of the time.
Yep.
In a golf cart from the hotel to the studio, through the streets of Potsdam, Germany.
It feels like a summer camp, and you can't not get close with the people that you're working with when you see them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and hanging out on the weekends, and then going to work together. It's wonderful.
He's amazing at generating a sense of communal focus, so we don't, phones aren't really encouraged. There's not sort of trailers, places for people to go and retire to. It's more of everyone sort of on set in a collegiate atmosphere, supporting each other regardless of whether they are the main event of the day or not.
It was my first experience working with Wes, but everyone told me as soon as we got here. I think there's a great point of pride actually for the whole ensemble and for everyone on the team that there isn't that hierarchy and that everyone's kind of in it together.
But underneath it all, it's really because he wants you available.
Yes, it is true.
At all times.
Yes.
It's, at any moment, you're like, well, let's go talk about this moment of the thing, or let's go, look at dailies, or this. So it's really highly efficient.
You used to work for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Me? No.
I was in disguise.
Oh, Dr. Lanzmann.
I recognize this assassin. Who hired you to kill me?
Oh, no.
Suicide pedal.
And does he expect old-timers like you to break in the new members?
He expects me to show up to dinner, that's for sure. Yes, yeah. And it's a lot of fun to sit down with Michael, Mia, and then the whole... Every actor that is part of they do the cameos, they all come in with their own stories about movies, about their life, and it's a lot of fun. I remember Tom Hanks talking about the filming of Saving Private Ryan, the opening sequence, and it was like, really, wow. It's great. Yeah.
Many of his films are dealing with dysfunctional families, but somehow I think that he runs his sets in a very highly functional way.
Well, you could say he has a very good understanding of what causes dysfunction, and so can therefore eliminate it. And I think so many things, both on the set and how he works, is about lasering in on things that would undermine the project and just very gently making those things go away.
There are sets that tend to be a little loose around the pants. You know, certain directors that you work with. I mean, everyone has their own signature. Everyone has their own style, their own way of going about it. Some leadership is clearer than others. Wes is incredibly detail-oriented, and also has what is required of any director, has a lucid vision in his head of what he wants to achieve. So there is, a small amount of improvising, on set, but largely, I would say 95% of what he's filmed, he's not only envisioned clearly, but he's also marked it out prior.
He's incredibly caring, and so I think the meticulousness that is often associated with him is really just someone who cares a great deal about everything, and everything's important, there's nothing too small. And so that extends to him relationally, that he's incredibly attentive, and he makes sure everyone is very comfortable. He's really interested in that. So I think it's one of the many reasons why people are so keen to be around it.
Prepare your documents before we deplane so you never delay my schedule. Passports.
Where's yours?
I don't have a passport. Normal people want the basic human rights that accompany citizenship in any sovereign nation. I don't. My legal residence is a shack in Portugal. My official domicile is a hut on the Black Sea. My certificated abode is a lodge perched on the edge of a cliff overlooking the sub-Saharan rainforest, accessible only by goat path. I don't live anywhere. I'm not a citizen at all. I don't need my human rights.
I have this pet theory about dysfunctional families, being that they often create great actors, because as a child you have to play many roles in a dysfunctional family to keep it safe. Am I onto something, or is this BS?
I don't think there are rules to anything, but I think you're onto something, yes. I think that, I think when someone experiences something at a young age, versus someone that doesn't experience something at a young age, it depends. It could make for an artist, and not only an actor, but it could be a musician or a writer, So I think that you're exposed to a lot of feelings when it's dysfunctional.
It kind of posits the idea that there's a normal, though, which probably there isn't. And what's the Tolstoy line? Yes, all happy families are alike. But unhappy families are all individual or unhappy in their own way.
My theory
I think he wrote it exactly like that. I think when you go back and read it,
with a couple of
and if he
and
didn't write it like that and he were alive, he'd probably go back and put it in my words.
Dysfunctional families can also create monsters. Some actors are monsters as well, so maybe there's an overlap there. But I do think that, maybe actors are created out of a sense of dysfunction somewhere, whether it's societal, whether it's family. I mean, I think there's a sense of the outsider. I don't know if it's always only necessarily in the family. My family was pretty cool. It wasn't an ordinary family. I was raised by two women, my mother and my aunt, but we had a good group.